Batman and Robin. They are a wonderful crime-fighting duo. And surely Bruce Wayne has had great moments with both Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. But one of the hardest Robins to work with was his own son, Damian Wayne. Why was it hard, you ask? Well, for starters, Damian was raised by the League of Assassins, so killing was second nature to him. He was violent and volatile, often letting his rage and immaturity get the best of him. With all these factors coming into play, Damian was no stranger to displaying his Berserker rage, which allowed him to take down opponents who were statistically much stronger than him. In this video, we will talk about 7 such moments where Damian unleashed his rage. Call it the 7 wonders of Robin's rage. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Damian beats the crap out of Ubu. Batman meets his son Damian Wayne for the first time in the 2014 animated film Son of Batman. Damian displays a streak of violence from his very introduction, having been trained as an assassin under Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, and the League of Assassins. Needless to say, he does not possess the same moral compass and aversion towards killing as his father. Damian is the love child of Bruce and Talia, but he grew up under the guidance of his controversial maternal family while Bruce remained unaware of his existence. Son of Batman opens with the headquarters of the League of Assassins getting attacked by Slade Wilson, who feels betrayed by Ra's al Ghul for leaving him in the dust, despite having offered him the position of being his successor. In reality, the position is later offered to Batman, who turns the offer down, and thus Damian has been trained to be the ultimate assassin who will eventually lead the League in the future. Wilson cannot accept this. The attack results in Raz getting fatally injured from an explosion caused by Wilson. Raz tries to revive himself in the Lazarus pit, but passes away before doing so, making Slade the recipient of Damian's wrath. To protect her son from the mercenary, Talia takes Damian to Gotham City, hoping to keep him under his father's care. It does not take Bruce much time to recognise that Damian is skilled, but when he expresses his desire to avenge his grandfather and kill Slade Wilson, Bruce objects to it and asks Damian to never resort to killing. While Talia al Ghul leads an attack on Slade, who now calls himself Deathstroke, she gets captured. The culmination of these events causes Damian to finally snap, who leaves the Batcave against his father's orders and heads out to hunt down Deathstroke. Damian tracks down one of his henchmen, a big and muscular guy named Ubu, who becomes a victim of Damian's ninja-like stealthy attack. Going by face value alone, it is impossible to even imagine a situation where Damian will defeat Ubu. It's almost like a kitten going after a tiger. But too bad, Ubu's strength cannot match up to Damian's skill. The son of Batman counters all of Ubu's attacks, whose claws are no match for the little boy's swordsmanship. Asking for Deathstroke's location, Damian throws away his sword and pounces on Ubu as they crash out of the glass door and take their fight to the streets. But at this point, it's not much of a fight. It's just Ubu running away from an enraged Damian, finding himself outclassed at every clash. Ultimately, Damian gets Ubu on his fours, injured and bleeding, while he himself does not have a single scratch. As Ubu continues to withhold information about Deathstroke's whereabouts, Damian raises his sword and makes the motion to strike his head down. But before he can kill Ubu, he gets stopped by Nightwing. Damian goes full berserk on Deathstroke. Damian going off on Ubu is not the only moment where we get to see him unleash his rage in Son of Batman. In fact, he has been saving the best for last. After defeating Ubu, Damian receives a scalding from Batman, who makes him his Robin to discipline him. Soon after, they receive a tip from Commissioner Gordon and go to the place where Deathstroke and his men are seemingly operating from. One thing leads to another in the investigation, causing Damian and Batman to fly out to Asia. Over there, Batman deduces that Talia is being tortured in an empty cell and keeps the information away from Damian. However, Damian soon receives a message from Deathstroke, giving him his location and a 48-hour timeline until Talia's death. Damian learns about the oil rig Deathstroke is in and heads there to find his mother. He spots her at a cave with Deathstroke, located below the ocean bottom and near another Lazarus pit. He points a gun towards Deathstroke, who holds a gun against Talia's head, prompting Damian to put his gun down. However, Talia leaps out and asks Damian to run when Batman reaches the scene. Damian chases after Deathstroke, who is very salty about losing out on the offer of heading the League and having Talia as his woman because of Batman. As the two of them fight, the battle proves itself to be a lot different compared to Damian's fight with Ubu. Not only does Damian get injured, but his forearms get impaled to the wall by Deathstroke's knife and his own sword. Damian pulls out the weapons and attacks Deathstroke once again, this time scratching his chest with his sword for good. Not only does he dodge all of Deathstroke's attacks, but he also manages to disarm him over and over again. It's not like Damian is more skilled or stronger than Deathstroke, it's just the fact that Deathstroke's motives are based on his ego, while Damian's rage comes from his love for his family. The assassins continue to fight, and Damian spits on Deathstroke's eye to ward him off. In the end, he manages to make Deathstroke stick his knife into the hot fluid around the oil rig pipes, causing the mercenary to get terribly injured. Damian finds Deathstroke lying in front of him, provoking him to kill him. However, Damian chooses not to take his life and calms his rage for the sake of his father. Damian beats Nightwing with his words? In the film Batman vs. Robin, Batman finds himself investigating the Court of Owls, which is a secret society made of Gotham's wealthiest. The story opens with Batman and Damian, who is still working by his father's side as Robin, taking on the Doll Maker. While Batman fights the villain's dolls, Damian chases after the Doll Maker, only for Batman to find the man's dead body after regrouping with his son. But here's the catch. Damian did not kill him. Someone else did, and he left an owl feather on his victim's body before leaving. However, with Batman first having suspected Damian, the boy acts out, which means that Batman needs to make some amends as a father. The next night, Bruce has dinner with Samantha Vanover, a wealthy and influential woman in Gotham City, and then he tries to bond with Damian over a movie. However, Damian feels like he's being kept as a prisoner since his efforts to escape are constantly thwarted by Batman. With a lack of trust between the father and son crime-fighting duo, it is evident that Damian is quite agitated with the entire ordeal. So, when Batman leaves him in Nightwing's care, Damian allows himself to lash out yet again. But this time, his rage does not manifest so much as physical violence, and instead, he relies on his sharp tongue against Grayson. It starts off with a sparring practice, where Damian is disinterested in fighting Nightwing because he believes that Ra's al Ghul has already taught him everything that he needs to know. However, despite his skill, he still gets outclassed by Nightwing, who pushes him against a glass wall. Triggered by the situation, Damian retorts by mocking Grayson for being the pure and perfect first Robin. With the winning edge in the match, Grayson refers to himself as the only Robin, considering Damian's compromised situation. But this results in Damian crossing the line, as he tells Grayson that he is just a lost little orphan Bruce took pity on. Meanwhile, Damian is his own son. He then goes on to kick Nightwing's butt, who is left with no choice but to acknowledge Damian.
Real problem.
I'm warning you, son.
Son? You didn't raise me. The League of Assassins did.
Damian kills Victor Zsasz in cold blood. Karma comes back to bite the cold-blooded murderer Victor Zsasz, as he himself becomes a victim of a case of cold-blooded murder. And this time, Karma's name is Damian Wayne. In the Injustice 2 video game, we are taken back to Damian's origin as someone who has been raised by assassins and struggles with following Batman's no-killing policy. He is taken to Arkham Asylum, where he sees his father visibly flustered over the well-being of the inmates, who are literally criminals who've committed heinous crimes. Damian is confused by this, since he believes that these inmates are the worst of the worst. Meanwhile, Superman is having a hard time coping with the death of Lois Lane, and as such, wants to kill the villains. Damian stands by the Man of Steel's mindset and against that of his father. Throughout their Arkham experience, Damian expresses his aversion towards Batman's logic while Batman continues to dodge his arguments. In a way, Damian makes sense because had the Joker been killed, he would never have gotten away with the opportunity to continue with his run as Gotham's most terrifying criminal. Anyway, Batman and Superman regroup when Damian eavesdrops on their conversation after the two heroes fight in the game. Superman is weakened and he asks Batman to get away from him. Just then, Damian joins the party with Victor Zsasz, whom he has captured. He holds his knife to the psychopath's throat and interrogates him. He asks him how many women he has killed, and Zsasz replies with 121. Damian expresses his disgust as he says that number sounds incorrigible to him. Batman orders him to let Zsasz go, but Damian mocks Batman for fighting his own friends instead of going after the real problems. Batman's warnings mean nothing to him as he claims his identity as someone who has been raised by the League of Assassins. He goes on to cement this as he pulls the knife across Victor's throat, killing him right in front of Batman. Enraged, Batman comes at Damian screaming that this is the line they do not cross. However, he meets Damian's kick, who sides with Superman and duels with his father. Batman overpowers him and apologizes, which makes Damian even more furious. He lashes out at Batman for not being able to save Jason, Lois or anyone, and he blames Batman's aversion to killing criminals for this, ultimately leaving the place with Superman. Damian versus Ra's al Ghul. Damian gets into a violent fight with Ra's al Ghul in the 2016 animated film Justice League vs. Teen Titans. But why is he fighting the man he loves so much? Well, of course, it's a ruse. The movie revolves around Batman sending Damian to work with the Teen Titans, not for the personal experience, but to tame his volatile behaviour. The minion of a powerful ancient demon named Trigon the Terrible has possessed the Weather Wizard. Before the League can catch him, Damian's reckless behaviour causes an explosion that defeats the Weather Wizard while Trigon's shade leaves the metahuman's body. So he gets sent off to work with the Teen Titans and Batman wants him to learn teamwork. Meanwhile, the demon's minion possesses Superman and makes him release Trigon by destroying a stone wall. Damian proves to be incompatible with the Teen Titans, who act as a surrogate family, while Batman and Wonder Woman bring Superman back to his senses. However, Wonder Woman, Flash and Cyborg soon fall victim to Trigon's shadow and turn into demon emissaries. Meanwhile, Damian learns that his teammate, Raven, is the daughter of Trigon. Her mother was tricked into marrying Trigon, who had swapped his form as an interdimensional demon for a human-like body. Even though Raven does not side with her father, she was supposed to be used as his pawn for his conquest of Earth. Eventually, the League and Titans manage to save the possessed members, but it's already too late because Trigon is finally here. The Titans battle the demons, the League engages Trigon, and an undead Ra's al Ghul returns, but this is not the Ra's that we know. Ra's has returned, not as himself, but as a minion of Trigon. Damian is shocked to see him, but soon convinces himself that it is not the real Ra's al Ghul. He wants to kill Raven, but Damian cannot allow it. When Damian speaks back, Ra's lashes out at him for doing so and for forgetting his heritage as an Al Ghul. But in a heartwarming twist, Damian denounces his old identity and introduces himself as a Titan. Damian and Ra's fight one another and Ra's scratches his grandson's suit, calling him out for becoming weak instead of immortal like him. Damian continues to fight back, finally getting the upper hand on Ra's, who falls victim to Trigon's demons. Damian heads towards his body and finally beheads his grandfather. Fortunately, it is not the real Ra's al Ghul. Damian versus Dollmaker. Let's go back to the first scene from Batman vs. Robin. Some children have gone missing and this has caught the attention of the world's best detective, Batman, and his right-hand man, Robin, or Damian Wayne. They soon head out to an abandoned factory called Shot's Toys, located in Ichabod. Robin investigates the place and finds rats and creepy dolls everywhere. They discuss the backstory, letting us know that the original owner of the place was the psychopathic killer Winslow Shot, popularly known as Toyman. While he was sent to prison 12 years ago, his son Anton took over his toy business. Soon Damian finds a lab with bloodied clothes and kids locked up in cages around him. Just then, Anton Shot arrives and introduces himself as the Dollmaker. He soon makes his creations attack Damian, who overpowers everyone in the room. Batman arrives to fight by his son's side, who claims that he can do it all by himself. While the dolls continue to attack, the Dollmaker flees and Robin follows him in a hot pursuit. He is not an easy opponent to catch, but Damian is desperate and catches up with the Dollmaker. He then pulls out his sword and rope to drag Anton, who claims to love the children. Damian continues to convince himself to choose justice over vengeance as he stops himself from killing the twisted criminal when someone crashes the party and kills Anton. Batman reaches the place and finds the Dollmaker's dead body. At first he puts the blame on Damian, but soon he manages to find an owl feather in Shot's mouth, which means that something much bigger is involved here.
So be it.
Damian versus Talon. The story continues with Batman going out with Samantha Vanover. Damian gets over with his sparring match against Nightwing, while Batman begins to go over the involvement of the Court of Owls. This secret society comprises rich men who operate from the shadows and kill their dissenters with help from their in-house assassins, known as Talons. In fact, it was a Talon who had killed Anton Schott. On the night of Martha and Thomas Wayne's death, Bruce Wayne had noticed an owl flying away with a bat, which meant that the Court of Owls was involved in the death of his parents. While Batman gets attacked by 3 owl-masked people and 2 almost killing him, resulting in him sending a stress signal to the Batcave, Damian escapes Nightwing and gets approached by the Talon who had killed the Dollmaker. He is aware of Damian wishing to emulate the criminals instead of following Batman's footsteps, and as such, offers him to join his side. The next day, Batman is taken to the Court of Owls by one of them and offered to be part of the association. They are planning to destroy Gotham City and rebuild it in their image. They also plan to raise an army of Talons, creating them with a serum that is currently imperfect and causes the user to dissolve after 24 hours. The Talon who had killed the Dollmaker is the next in line for the experiment, but before that, he intends to introduce Damian as his replacement, who has taken up Talon's offer and attended criminal killing missions with him. Damian's activities are tracked down by Batman, who tells his son that he is being used by the Court of Owls. But Damian is too adamant and believes that Batman is holding him back. He almost kills his father before leaving. Soon it is revealed that Talon is dating Samantha, whom Bruce is seeing as well. Meanwhile, Samantha is the Grand Master of the Court of Owls, and she is introduced to Damian by Talon. Seeing him, Samantha puts 2 and 2 together and learns that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so she orders Talon kill Damian. But Talon turns against the court and murders every member, including Samantha. Before leaving, he offers Damian to side with him again as he heads out to kill Batman. With his undead soldiers, Talon attacks and breaks into the Batcave, where they are intercepted by Batman, Nightwing and Alfred. Nightwing gets crippled while Batman fights Talon, and Talon wounds Batman. Before he can kill him, Damian arrives at his father's rescue and engages in a brutal fight with Talon. Talon tries his best to turn Damian against Batman, but Damian continues to fight him. He gains the upper hand as he holds the side to Talon's throat but does not kill him. In the end, Talon takes his hand and impales his own throat, committing suicide. Marvelous verdict. Damian can be bratty, arrogant, adamant and almost annoying, but you've got to understand where he's coming from. He was raised to be an assassin, and to transition from an assassin to someone who never kills seems to be quite the task. Not that we have any experience of that, but the boy tries his best, and ultimately his heart is in the right place. And with that, today's video comes to an end. What did you think of these 7 moments where Damian let himself go? Did you enjoy this video? Well, if yes, don't forget to like and comment on this video. Until then, goodbye and have a good one.
I will come back for him. Make him great.